Okay, so I'm going to show you how to work with your margins in Word. I'm trying to make this really quick. But first, let me show you the books that I use when I do any kind of formatting. If I sit down to review a screenplay that I've done, I always sit down with my books. Why? Because, guys, let's face it, I'm over 40. I forget crap all the time. So I use the Screenwriters Bible. Yes, I know it says 5th edition. That's okay. We're on Dave Trottier is on edition number 7. I used the 5th edition when I was in an undergrad at UALR. It's got all my markings in it. I'm going to have to probably purchase edition 7 eventually to see what's different. I did use the 6th edition in my graduate work. I opened it maybe 2 or 3 times. I always went back to edition 5 and my markups. I also use the Hollywood Standard 2 because it has more special page instructions. It's got a lot of production things in it. Guys, that's also thinner. I don't understand. You get this, and then you get like this. But that's okay. That's perfectly fine. The other thing I want to talk to you about real quick is if you are doing script writing and you are working with, first of all, bless you if you're trying to do this in Word. I can't even imagine. I've been using Final Draft since I was in college. No, yes, I said I was over 40. And this is true. I have lost my video. But for me, college was not that long ago. I graduated in 2014. Yes, I went late. That's fine. But I think I was a sophomore in college when I got Final Draft. It was one of the best decisions I made. But if you can't afford to get Final Draft, that's also fine. You can use Word. It's perfectly acceptable. It's just a little bit going to make your life a little bit more complicated. But I'm here to help you if you've not used Word a lot, other than just typing out like research papers. You don't have to do a whole lot of formatting with those, but you do have to do heavy formatting with scripts. So let's get down with the basics. You want to go to your margins first. Hang on, let me back up. Sorry, back up. This little guy right here is your ruler. You want to go to the View tab. Make sure this little check mark is by ruler. If you don't, you get that. If that's not there, you get that. And you don't have your handy little lines. So there's that. You get your ruler. All right, now we're going to go to layout. You got your margins. Go to custom margins. You want to make sure that your margins, your left is going to be 1.5 inches or about 15 spaces from the left side of the page. That's the left side, this side right here. You want to make sure that there's no gutter. A gutter is really for publishing. It's going to leave a space if you have to have any binding done. So say if you work for an employer who has you do, say, a project, and you have to type up a document that they want and that they're going to take to get bound, they're going to have you they're probably going to have a gutter on it, or they'll hand you a template that has a gutter that you're going to be like, what? I'll show you real quick. That's what it's going to look like. This right here is your gutter. You don't want that. That kind of crunches up your page. So make sure that is 0. You can't ever go negative. So you're good. That's what you want. All your other margins, A-okay. So how you're going to move your margins around is grab these little guys right here. That moves your indent. Okay. right now it's fine. So we're gonna do a couple little other formatting things. So to do your scene heading, it's also called a slug line, depending on who you're talking to. I was taught both ways, so I'm comfortable with using it as either. So your scene heading is going to be either an interior or exterior, and it's going to be the smallest location first. So say bedroom. Say we're going to put it in a mansion, and then it's your bigger location, and then the time of day. And here's something extra. If you want it to be something specific, like black and white, put VNW. Now here's something that script writing software does, is it puts a space when you hit enter. So if you're in Word, you're going to hit enter. Now you're going to put your action. Action falls right in line with your scene heading. You don't need to indent. You don't need to do anything else. So write a couple of lines of action. Don't forget to take your caps lock off. Okay, and then you're going to enter again. The next thing is if you have introduce a character. The first time you introduce a character, always capitalize. And a lot of people are getting away from being super specific about ethnicity of a character unless it is super, super important about how the character's attitude or how the character is going to react to something. So Jason doesn't matter. Some people put he stops dead in his tracks, not necessary. Okay, again, enter, enter, leave that space. Now, the next thing it says is the character's name is 37 spaces, which is 3.7 inches. So you're going to take this little guy right here, and yes, you're going to grab this bottom square to pull this whole thing over. That's 1, 2, see, that looks like it's supposed to be right there because it's just about center. You're going to go all caps, Jason, enter. And this is where you can do a parenthetical. And it's going to go back over here. I'm sorry, Jason is still bothering me. So we're going to move Jason back to 2.5. Enter. Parentheticals are never, ever, ever, ever going to go past 2 inches in length, and they're never action. It's never Jason points or paces back and forth, and then dialogue. It's how you want the actor to say the line, or if the actor has is supposed to have an accent. Say he's either going to be frantic here or he's going to have an accent. I want him to be frantic. So, and these used to be called Rileys. And this is why people say frantically. He was frantically. You don't need to put frantically. He's frantic. And he says this. So now you're going to pull this back over to right about there. And this is never going to go past 4 inches. So you can go from 1.5, say that's 1.5, 2, 3, 4. So 4.5 inches over here, your dialogue is never going to go past that. And say, what he's going to say. And then you can hit enter. Obviously, he's missing somebody, right? All right, and that's that's the basics of how to move around your indents. Now, if you want to do, say, a flashback, you're gonna drop it right over here about 5 inches. Or this is also good for transitions, because ending a flashback or an that's actually a little bit more like, yeah, that's really more like 5.25 or 4 and not quite 3/4, but that's how you want it. You want it flush. This is going to be like cut to, fade out, and intercut. Anything that would be considered a shot or a transaction or a transition is going to be here. But in a spec script, you don't really have to worry about transitions unless it's fade in and fade out. And if you have any questions or you would like to purchase these books, you can visit my site, kitiarabluemedia.com, and there's affiliate links there under affiliates, handily titled, or you can find me at nikkiackerin.weebly.com, and there's also an affiliate link there. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer them.